Howdy. So I'm gonna be showing you how to make a drawing. And this by any means is not the correct way, but it's just the way I do, and I think it's a good fundamental way to start doing the drawings, especially as a second year and as a sophomore. Sorry, as a freshman. All right. So there's a Rhino file in the drawing folder that you guys can download. If you don't have Rhino, it's okay. I'll be adding a DXF file to the thing, and you guys can just do the Illustrator, but I would still follow the Rhino part because I think it can help towards the end. Right. Okay, so today you're gonna be making just a fun like drawing of like one house. And you can start like adding a lot of other things to it. You can make another house. If you want to model something else, you can do that too. But just have a model and have some like furniture or something around it just to that's I think the best part of drawings is just adding more details and making it as realistic as possible because you're trying to like capture the realism, especially in the narrative of the drawing. So yeah, um, basically I've kind of layered everything. So I want to remove the contour. Okay, so once you have your model, have your like kind of individual pieces on two different layers. It just makes it easy. So for in order to like add some either like siding or like even just hatching on the roof, you can do two ways. You can use the contour command, and you kind of click on the edges, the endpoints. Um, and usually I do it for the roof, like at least like you should do it for like maybe like two. I mean that's a you can even do it less. Let's do it like around one. That's pretty good. And then you would want to have it on your own in its own layer. So you can do cell last, and then add it to a new layer. So to just make a new layer, roof hatch. You're just gonna right click and you're gonna do change object layer. So now you have that on that layer. And I would also change the color. It'll just be easier for the make 2D when you do the make 2D. Okay. Then I would also um, contour the building. I would do this around like 0.5, I think would be the good one. Um, and then cell last and get all these hatches in, and then you want to make a new layer called building. You're gonna change the layer, change object layer, and you're gonna change the color of that. So now you have this side, you're gonna do the same on the other side. So you just enter, and you're gonna click on the endpoints. Okay, and you can change the layer. So that's one way. For the roof, you could also do a project a hatch. So you can do option two, hide this one. So for that, you can quickly make like a hatch. And for that, let me just redo that. So you select the rectangle, you type in hatch. Um, sometimes it's going to be boundary, so you just click on that, enter, and you select the hatch you want. Let's do this one, and let's do the scale of 5. Let's do like 3 or 4. Okay, so you're gonna move it to orient it towards the house, move the edge so it's oriented in that similar angle. Um, so you want to make sure once you're projecting the hatch goes on the right angle. Um, okay. You can even make it like um, a little bit bigger. Rotate it actually. So it's and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna remove the rectangle that you hatched. You're gonna select all the hatch, explode it so it's curved. And it's gonna say exploded a hatch into 78 objects. You're gonna select it all, and then you're gonna type in project, and then you're gonna select the surfaces that you want. You do Shift Control to select the surfaces. Um, yeah, so once you have that all selected, you press enter and it projects onto the thing. And that's like your second option that you could also use. And you can do this also for like the facade. You don't have to just do it for the roof. So I'm gonna sell last. And I'm gonna put this in option 2. And you can even change the color. Okay. And then to prepare for the drawing, just trim out parts that you don't want to see. So for example, like the hatches that are near the door, the windows. You can just like trim the lines out. And I can go over the trim tool. So it's just type in trim and you're gonna like click on the lines that you wanna remove. Okay. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna hide option 2 because I prefer option 1. Yeah. And then we can also trim out this part, the hatches that shouldn't be shown. And you don't have to do this. This is just extra steps just to make it easier once it's processing the Mate 2D. Okay, so once you're done with that, this looks good. You can start adding your own pathways and make another house if you want. But you're gonna go, you're gonna copy, so with Alt, a new model. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna type in load script. You're gonna download and add the script I have on the drive and then just load it. It's gonna ask for angle, type in 90, scale factor, type in 1. So it's gonna like kind of skew it, and that's like what an oblique drawing is. And you're gonna go to top view, and so it does that. You're now gonna do so you have all these done. You're gonna go make 2D, just type in make 2D. Have your settings at top view. Sometimes people have it perspective, but I would highly recommend top view because that's like the orientation you want. Um, and then you want the maintain source layers because it organizes the make 2D is going to organize based on the layers so that you can just like easily like drag onto a new layer. Have your everything else you can just have it on scene silhouette is pretty important because it's your profile line, but I also did do it differently. You don't really need a viewport rectangle and a register for previous, you don't really need that. Yes, and then you're gonna do okay. Okay, so this is what you get out of the make 2D. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing you would want to do is you're gonna add the profile line. You're gonna make a new, I already have the layers, the drawing layer. So what you need to do is just add them, assign them to the right layer. So for example, this one is going to be control, and then you're just going to type in curve boolean to make the profile lines curve boolean. It's going to ask you to do all regions and you press enter. So it selects everything. And now it just made an outline, and that's what a profile line is. It basically adds this thickness around the whole kind of composition of the design project so that it's clear, especially from far away, what the kind of the outline for the project is. Especially if you're in like Tate's studio, he highly recommends doing profile lines. Okay. Another thing you could start doing is, so you can select this layer, so cell layer. It's gonna be roof hatch, and you're gonna assign it to the roof hatch layer. And you don't have to do this because since it's all of them are already in their own colors, you can just straight up export it to Illustrator, but I do it because it just it's better. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, then we have these. Um, gonna do. You're gonna add them to the right layer too. I would put them in light because they're your kind of lightest line weight. Okay. Yeah, and sometimes the make 2D doesn't come out nicely, so you just have to fix it. If it's not a Boolean union, then it does that. Um, and it's again just adding lines because you already know just joining the lines. Okay. Another thing you can do is add the hatches. Before we actually do that, we need to do the minor line. So you can cell layer for this one. Um, and basically you're gonna put it in minor, so change object. So everything that's kind of everything that's not the profile line but in the building is gonna be a minor line. Okay. And I would also remove this line. There's gonna be some additional lines that you just want to remove. You can trim it. TRIM. Boom. You're gonna do the same thing for this. So cell layer and put it in the minor line. Okay, so you get something like this um, from it. And you'll still have your major line over here, profile line, and your light lines. Then you're gonna do ones for the siding. So cell layer, building hatch, and then you're gonna put it into building hatch layer, change object layers. Okay, so you'll get something like this. Okay, so we can start by adding hatching to the ground condition. Sometimes it's not joined, so you just have to make sure that it's closed. Good. Okay. Let's just fix this. Okay. Gonna do hatch. Enter. Change the hatch and assign it to the right layer. So I'm gonna do that again, just to be clear. So you select everything, you type in hatch. You're just gonna tap onto the area that you want to hatch. And if it's joined, it's gonna work properly. And then after you selected it, just to enter. And then you can change the settings. So there's gonna be like a box that pops up. You can change the scale for the ones that need scale changes, but if it's a fill, it's fine. You're gonna press OK, and then you'll have these two hatches. Put this into the right layer so you can put it into grass patch. So you'll get something like this. Because once we're adding patterns and hatches in Illustrator, it'll just be easier that they're all in one color. Okay. You're gonna select the light layer. So I did cell layer, and then I'm gonna press OK for the light. For the doors and windows, you're gonna press hatch on that. Might take some time. And you're gonna just tap into the parts that you want. Okay. So now it's gonna be like that. Sell that, just shift and select all of them. You're gonna put them into window hatch. Switch. Okay. So you have something like this now. Okay. So before we move on, you might see some like weird, if you want to fix some stuff up, this is a good time to do it. Okay. And then you would have this part left. You can wait until Illustrator because there is a lot of lines, but sometimes it works. You hatch all regions, it worked perfect. And then you do okay. And you're gonna put it into chair hatch. And then you do show to get that. Okay, so now you have everything on the drawing layers. I have the page size over here. So you just copy that, Control C, Control V, or even Alt. And you can move it and orient it onto the page. You can even move it a little down. It really depends on how you want to do this. I really like kind of having the building kind of out of the page. So it's kind of like this. And I think, yeah, you'll just start kind of doing your own like style, and you'll be like kind of combining styles. So it's a good way to like start just thinking of ways you can the different ways you can represent your drawings. Yeah, and then so I'll just use this one because I already had done two. Oh, one thing we forgot was to add the hatch for the path. Okay, so hatch. Might take a second. Hatch, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put this into the patch hatch. Path hatch. Um, and then so you'll have something like this. So right now it is, if you do distance and see how the length and width is, it's around 68 feet. We need it to be 8.5 inches because it's 8.5 by 11. So an Illustrator is going to crash if you have 68 feet. Um, so you're going to do this. You're going to select everything, scale it. You're going to click on it once on one of the edges. And you're going to do 1 over 96, just so that it's scaled to the 8.5 inches by 11. Um, okay, now that's the actual size. And you're gonna select everything. You're gonna do type in export. And you're gonna go to DXF. Um, and you're gonna do drawings, put your name, save. Um, there might be options. Have your 2007 polylines selected. Yeah, it needs to be 2007 polyline. So before you press save, go to your options and change that export setting. Okay, and save. And yeah, you just want to say okay. And it's because sometimes it says some objects can be exported, and you might have trouble and we can fix that later. It's no big deal. Okay, now you want to go to Illustrator. So I'm gonna resume share. Um, okay. You're gonna go home to the home and you're gonna go to file. You're gonna go open. And you're gonna find that file. So whatever you saved it by, you're gonna do original size. Don't do scale to fit board because it's gonna like scale it for you and you shouldn't do that. Original size. Okay. Let's see if you guys can see. Okay. So this is what you have. It's just the board. So this is what the artboard is called. It's like this white paper. It's really good because you can, for like final reviews, just have your like artboards all there, and then they're almost like the poster papers, and you can kind of play with arrangements. Illustrator is a pretty nice software because you can do a lot, and it's pretty like flexible and nice to use. So in order to change your artboard settings so that it fits the page size, you're gonna do edit artboard and you're gonna do 8.5 by 11, but you're gonna change it to it'll be 11 inches by 8.5 inches height. And now this is what we need to scale it to. You're gonna select the drawing. And the good thing is you have a border, so you just select everything. It's the same as Rhino, so you just from right to left. And you're gonna go the same. So width is 11 inches and height is 8.5 inches. You can delete the border frame. So now this is what you get. And the cool thing is they're all in layers. So that's the best part. So for example, we can start, these are the layers, and layers are very essential because they are super organized and you can start locking them up if you don't want to like use that or edit that. To lock the layers that you aren't using, you can go and click on the three lines, and then you can do lock others, and it locks everything for you. To select everything on the layer, you can click on the edge of your layer box. A kind of a box pops up and it basically selects everything in that layer. So let's say if you want to delete something on that layer, just you select everything and you can delete it. Yeah, so this is kind of all like you guys have tons of flexibility in this part, but I'll just be showing you the different options. So you have these kind of hatches. You also have your lines. So we can first of all try to find the profile line. So to find the profile line, you need to unlock everything, and it should be this one. Yeah. So, and usually Illustrator, once you click on that layer, it like shows you which layer you're on. It's very similar to Rhino, and that's why like the workflow is pretty nice. So once you select the profile line, you can change the line weight. I would make everything black first, and then you can do it like around, I think I had it around 1. Um, then you can click something else. Um, and again, we'll tell you what layer you're on. Let's say you kind of messed up and you have everything on one layer, but you still have different colors. You can do select, same, and stroke color. So now you have all the building hatching selected, and you can do black, and you can do 0 point, like I'd say 1. It's a little thin. Let's do 5. I think that might be too thick. Let's do 0.2. So you have something like this, and this file is already in your drive, and you can use it in terms of line weight references and stuff. Okay. So now you have that done. I would start also messing with the minor line, because that's like the next line. And since we had the profile at 1, we can do this at like 0.5, and then change the stroke color to black. Yeah. Okay. And then you're gonna have some random lines, and we can remove them. Just try to, so if that, okay. So you can even like rename them, and I think it'll help because Rhino has the make 2D part that pops up. Let's see. So you can do select, same if you want to remove those like thick lines, which I guess were part of a layer that we don't want. You can do stroke weight and delete it. Yeah. And to like deselect something, it's shift in Illustrator. So it's just click on that and go. Okay, so we have our profile line somewhere here. Okay, we're gonna make it a little thicker because I feel like it can be around two. Okay, and then okay, perfect. So now we have this situation. We can change the hatch color. So since we have this blue for this roof hatch, we can select it, make it black. So go to fill, go to the black one, and you can do an opacity change. So opacity basically, it's like Photoshop, it just becomes lighter. So you can do like 20%. Sometimes even 10% is good. It just adds like a little. So now you have that color change just to showcase what the roof is. Now you have your doors. Uh, Lately, I've started seeing some Pinterest with like black doors and black windows. So you can do that if you want to. You could even add a hatch, and I'll show you that later. So you can do window hatch. Um, you can select that and then change the color to black. So you have something like this now. We're almost there. Now we just need to change the green patches into actual hatches. So you're gonna go back to layers. You're gonna press on the grass hatch. You're gonna fill, and you're gonna go to. So you're gonna go. It's gonna be color mixes and then swatches, and that's what swatches are. It's just patterns. You're gonna go to this like kind of. It's like the libraries. Um, Go to patterns, and then go to basic graphics, and then do dots. And you have this kind of library that Illustrator already has in its system. And you're gonna change the hatch. See, so it changes like that. You can do whatever you want. I personally like the lighter ones because they're not super dense. So you have that selected. Now to kind of make it more dense, and if you want to scale your patterns and your hatches, you can go to object, you can go to transform, and you're gonna scale. You're gonna go do like 20%. Just unselect the transform objects, because you don't want the object to do it. You don't want the shape to do it. You just want the patterns. So yeah, and it might be a little too small, so maybe like 40. Okay, so you have something like that. And one thing you'll start realizing is everyone does drawings differently. Everyone has their own like how much they want in their profile line thickness, and what color they want. So it's really up to the person. So if you want to do it differently, go ahead and do it differently. Now the path one, again, Illustrator has a lot of nice hatches that you can use, and then I've added some hatches to the drive that you can download, and I can show it to you how you can make that into a hatch. But okay, so you go to patterns, basic graphics, textures, um, and you can do like I really like this one, or you can even do this one. So it'll come like this. Okay. You can do object, transform, scale. Let's do it around like 60%. Just to make it like a little bit more realistic. So you have it like that. Um, okay. And then once you're done with kind of adding that, you can even change the line weights of the path. And you can see. Okay, it's in the minor line. Okay. You can select it, just change it down to like 0.2, just so there's less emphasis on the path and then more emphasis on the minor lines of the building. So you have something like this. I would also make your like kind of horizon line a little bit smaller, so it's not like thick, what it is right now. So you want to make it like point, like a slightly. Okay. I think obliques really showcase the shape really well. So it's one of those drawings that, yes, it looks a little skewed, and some people don't like it, but it really comes out very nice in the end, especially as an illustrator drawing. Let's say you're like, I'm not really feeling the path. So you can shift, select everything. Illustrator has this command called the shape builder tool. You basically can kind of combine hatches. So you have, can you use, yeah, so you have this green hatch selected. You're just gonna click on that and draw a line until the hatch that you want to lead it to. And it's gonna be all this one hatch. And then you can even delete the lines. So now you have kind of combined those shapes. It's kind of like our illustrator's version of curve boolean. Yeah. Okay. So once you have kind of this part done, let's take a break. Um, I'm gonna show you some other things. Okay, so before we move on to the next step, I've also added a library of trees in the folder. And again, entourage is a very important part of kind of building the narrative of the drawing. So trees, people, and I'll show you how to download people. Okay, let's see. Let's get Zoom. Okay, so if you go to the Google Drive, you go to Entourage. I've had it added a trees library, so you just go to download. Okay. So once you download the trees library, come back to Illustrator. It's gonna be like a file like this. Um, you can select one of them. So to copy and paste Illustrator, it's just the same. So it's Control C and Control V. Um, and then you can go and find your file. Okay. So you have this, make a new layer. To make a new layer, you're gonna go, um, sorry, one second. Okay, I'm back. So to make a new layer, um, Let's go and zoom. Okay. Okay, so you just go here and you see the plus button with the box. Just press on that, click on that, and change add. You can basically type in, so you can put tree. And then to copy and paste, so paste, it's Control V. So you get the tree. You can put it like right over here. Um, to kind of scale stuff up in Illustrator, you can do it. So if you press Shift, it kind of keeps the proportions, but if you don't press Shift, it can elongate it, scale when needed. So you can do both. Something like that. Okay. Um, so you have everything selected, especially the profile line. You're gonna go in the back and change the fill color into white. Um, and you're gonna go arrange, send to back so that you can have this. And I would also make the line weights a little bit thinner. To select the smaller ones, you can basically do this. Select same stroke weight. And you can do the same thing. Select same stroke weight. 0.03. And honestly, you can make the profile line of the tree a tad bit more. Show it more. Okay. Um, so once you have this tree selected, you can lock all the other layers. And to lock it, click on the three bars, lock others. You can select the tree, Control C, Control V. Let's say you accidentally, if you want to move this tree, specific tree into a new layer, Control C it, make a new layer if you want to, and then Shift Control V. Shift Control V basically pastes the image, the vector, the line work onto the same spot as the previous layer. So boom. So it's going to be in the exact same spot, but on a different layer. You can put tree two. This might be a little bit skinny. These are huge trees too, so we can maybe make it smaller. And you guys can change, like add hatches and stuff, like how I showed you earlier onto the trees. I think it adds a lot. Okay. So once you're done with that, another thing you could do is, let's see what else. Okay. Let's see if we want to add like a sky, like a background. So let's add, we can make a like a rectangle. And to make a rectangle, it's just this tool. I'll do it again. And you click on it. It's called the rectangle tool, and you select the artboard edge. When I align it to the line, you can add a pattern to it. So the library, patterns, basic graphics, lines. Let's do that. Okay. You can do object, transform, rotate. So it's like 45 degrees. You can basically make the hatches go that direction to 45. Preview. You can do okay. So not right now, it's like this. And also it's on the wrong layer, but let's see, we want to move into a new layer, Control C, delete, go and do sky layer. So now we have it over there. Okay, so now what we want is to subtract this part out so that it's not going over. Um, we really just need the profile line. So let's try to find the profile line. Okay, so I found the profile line, Control C. And you go back to the skyline, Shift Control V. You select, you already have the profile line onto this new layer selected, and then you're going to select the sky. And you're going to go to you're gonna do Pathfinder. Sometimes it doesn't show up. So you go to Window, and you need to find Pathfinder. It's under Navigator. And then this pops up. It's a box. You're gonna do minus front, or you can do, yeah, minus front. Boom. So now you have this kind of cutout. And then you can even change it a little bit. So you can do like 30% opacity just to make it kind of nice and it's not like super overwhelming. And I think that's the thing with drawings, you just kind of play around with it until you like it. It's not gonna be like there's a standard or anything. You just kind of have fun with it. Like this could honestly be on the ground, and this it really is how you represent and how you see your drawings. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Actually, let's do shadows too. And add people. Okay, so for people, I usually go to dimensions.com or vector vault. So vector vault. Okay. Hopefully you guys see the screen. Okay, so let's do. You can really have you have selections for like everything. Um, I mean, there's a lot of specific ones. Let's see. Let's do activities. So there's this person farming. You can download the AI file. It's both the same thing. So you can download that. Oh, it should pop up into your phone. And I have these resources in the slideshow, but it's dimensions.com is a really good site. You have to pay for that. And then there's Vector Vault. And then the third option is Pimp My Drawing, and that's a good one too. Let's see. Okay. Then you open Illustrator. Okay. Let's do screen share. Double check that I'm still recording. Okay. So now you go back to Illustrator. You can do File, Open. And it should be there. People gardening. Open that file. So you'll get this file. You can Control C. And then go back to your drawing. You can add a new layer and put people. Okay, so now that's the person. Needs to be definitely very bigger because that's like around 7 feet, even though it is oblique. Let's put it like there, a little bit like that. Maybe a little smaller. Okay, like that. And you can add your own people, like it's really up to. I would make it around, you really want the person to be seen. So 0.4. And then you can change the fill to white. That's how I usually do it where everything else, like especially in the, to zoom in, also zoom in and out. I'm just like teaching you guys while I'm going it. You can just do control and then like the plus is to zoom in and to the dash is to zoom out. But you can kind of see that I like the profile of the person a little bit thicker and then everything else a little lighter. Okay. So once you're done with that, you can add other things. You can start drawing in clouds too. Um, really, you can do whatever you want. You have all this. So this is, I like this command and this tool because you can draw a lot of things. It's kind of like you're drawing curves in Rhino, but it's a little harder. But you can draw like clouds. Yeah, you just have to be very careful with the line weights. So you can see this is not the best. Let's see, let's do it again. It's more easy to control in Rhino tool that you can use. It's something. Another thing you can do, we kind of went over most of the more important ones. A lot of people ask what's the difference between direct selection and selection tool. Direct selection is like if you want to modify shapes, that's how you do direct selection. So let's say if you have like a rectangle, um, this. So with a normal selection tool, you can only just select and move it. But with a direct selection, and even with selection, you can like kind of scale it like that and this. With direct selection, you can actually get all the points and you can change the shape of it. You can even delete edges. Okay, so we added the person. Now we're going to add shadows. So for shadows, you need to go back to Rhino. Okay, so you go back to Rhino, share, get a perspective. Okay, so I'm gonna use this, hide, back to top view. This wasn't really there. Okay, so you have this, you're gonna go back to rendered. And you're gonna hide the siding. So let's go there, building hatch, roof hatch. I would also remove your doors and windows. It's just the clean, even I would say path. You should remove it. Just so when you're doing your screenshot, it's really like just, it's not the hardest. Let's see, where's my, let's do, Okay, you're gonna delete that, or sorry, just hide it. So, um, and I guess the settings are already saved since I did it last, which is good. But you can go to the rendering one, and it's gonna ask for lighting. If you scroll down, unclick skylight, just have your sun selected. And you can do sun settings. Just pick a random location first. Um, and I had my intensity at 5. So once that's done, just press OK. Okay, and then you can do view capture to file. Have your resolution at whatever, but just try to have it on the last one. I usually do it so 1020 times 1080. Okay, do okay. Save the file. So just do shadow layer. Okay, we're gonna go back to Illustrator now. Okay, file. We're gonna make first a new layer. Go here, type in shadow. Um, you're gonna file open. And then you're gonna just do a shadow layer. Great. Sometimes it takes some time to load. Okay, back to Illustrator. So new shadows, open. It's gonna open like this. Um, you go back to your drawing, shadow layer. Okay. So this part is a little challenging because you have to like try to like align everything together. So this part can be a little annoying, but if you do it right, it's gonna be good. Okay, so that's pretty good. You're gonna select it and you're gonna do a new command called image trace. Image trace, just do like high or yeah, let's do that. You can even do 3 colors, really doesn't matter. As long as Illustrator traces the line workout. Okay. So again, press expand, ungroup. So now you have all these layers. Um, I would also release it so you can remove the white layer out. And then you want to select the darkest one. Select same, fill color, enter, hide this layer and make a new layer. Shift Control V. And you're gonna go to fill and add like line work to represent the shadows, and it's gonna be this really nice effect. Okay. And do like object, transform, scale. Unclick transform objects and do like, okay. So that's what's gonna happen. Sometimes Illustrator shows it like it's weird, but don't worry, the JPEG is gonna be clean. I would maybe also like change some opacities for the path. Okay. So let's do that at like 60%. Yeah. And then to change, like, let's say if you want to change the color of the path, I know I did that for the drawing on the drive. You can do pattern options. Um, Click on the patterns, select everything in that box, and then change the stroke color to whatever you want. So like brown. Yeah, and it adds a little bit. But this is what you can do. It's pretty fun. I feel like drawings are definitely the really fun part of doing the representation. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh yeah, to export, just do file and you're gonna export as a JPEG or a PNG. In this situation, I do export as a JPEG because there's so many lines. And to kind of protect the line weights and everything, I would do it as a JPEG. Let's say if you didn't have a background, you just had the house, do it as a PNG because PNGs are just um for like white, like just plain backgrounds. If you don't have anything except like the object, then I'll do it as a PNG. Another important thing is the color mode. So if you want to print this drawing, do it as CMYK, and especially if this was a color drawing, do it as CMYK. Um, since it is a digital drawing, just do it as RGB. Yeah. And it's very important because sometimes RGB and CMYK have different colors, especially the whites change a little bit in terms of shades. So if you want to print it in a specific white shade, make sure you have it in CMYK from the starting. But you're going to go to export as a JPEG, use artboard, and just select the one artboard you have. You're going to do it as export. And yeah, have your resolution at 300. It's going to ask for like high, have that at the option, sometimes even bigger for like better files, especially for your final project files. Yeah, and you're going to do okay. Um, let's see. We shall get. And boom, this is your drawing. Yeah, thank you guys. And if you have any questions, text me on the group. See you later.